Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the video, welcome to the channel. I'm Trip Boomer, as always. This one's going to be just a quick one. We're going to talk about the 90 series, sort of why it exists, why it's there, and before these new cards get fully released, I just want people to take a moment and step back and think about what they're doing with their money and why they're spending it, because I think everyone, like all of you, seem to get these 90 class wrong. Let me put it into perspective. Basically, Nvidia have two different classes of GPUs. They've got their data center GPUs, their Quadros, and then they've got their gaming centric GPUs, their RTX cards. Now, earlier on, you know, the 10,000 series, 2000 series and stuff, Nvidia noticed, and probably 900s and stuff, but Nvidia noticed that smaller developers and smaller professional businesses were starting to choose to use, like, you know, one or two 1080 Ti's or one or two 2080 Ti's instead of buying the Quadro cards. So Nvidia, seeing that there was that gap in the market between the gaming GPUs and the Quadro cards, and they wanted to, you know, fill that space without destroying the Quadro market. They don't want to drop those cards. For example, the 3060 12 gig, which is what I've got in there at the minute, that released at $330 US MSRP. The A2000 12 gig released at, I think, around $500. They are basically the exact same card, same core count, same everything, all the way down the line. The only difference is that the A2000 has a max power output of 75 watts, which means it doesn't have an external power connector. That's the only difference. And it'll cost you almost 200 quid more because it's a data center level card. These days, it's a little bit different, but that is why the 90 class got put in. It was so that for those small-time professionals that were buying big gaming cards and doubling them up, it was for those people so that they had a card to basically charge a little extra for the sort of professional. So they released the 3090, massively overpowered, a massive amount of VRAM for its day, and yeah, that was the professional card. As the 40 series released, that gap stretched even further. And now, again, with the 50 series, it's stretched even further. The fact of the matter is, with gaming, 80 class and below is for gaming. So any card under the 80 class is for gaming. The 90 class cards are basically to develop the game on. They're not designed to be for gamers. Why do you think they're so ridiculously priced? The whole point of having that 90 class in the first place was so that Nvidia could charge more, so that the people that wanted to buy the cheaper gamer version of the card is available there. Like, everyone sees the 4090 as ridiculously overpriced, and for gaming, 1600 quid for a GPU for gaming is kind of ridiculous. It really is a stupid price for gaming. But in terms of the opposite, the alternative for a professional, in terms of the alternative, it's ridiculously cheap. Let me explain to you. I'll show you here on this. 1 second. Let me pull this up. Right. So this, in Nvidia's section, these are the cheaper options for a server card, right? So this is the cheaper option for a server card. It's a Quadro RTX 6000. Right, it's got 24 gigs of GDR6, not 6X, because you want reliability, and reliability always comes with the slower option. It's like, you know, diesels. They go for longer because they're lower revs will last longer. It's that kind of thing when it comes to you know, the data center space. However, right? I would like to point out that this Quadro here, this Quadro basically has the tensor cores of a 4090 almost. Hold on, where are you? Right, it has the tensor cores of a 4090. A 4090 has 512 tensor cores there, and this Quadro 6000 has 576. So it's got a few more. It's got a few more tensor cores. However, the RT cores on this card, 72 RT cores, it has basically the RT cores of a vanilla 4080. See that? 76 cores. That's the closest I could get to that count, right? So this Quadro has got the tensor cores of a 4090. It's got the RT cores of a vanilla 4080. It has the memory capacity of a 4090, but the memory speed of, I don't know, a 4060 on just DDR6. It's slower memory, but it's the same capacity as a 4090, right? So it's quite close to a 4090, except for the die. This 4608 CUDA cores. Do you want to know what RTX card closest matches that count of CUDA cores? The 4060 Ti. The 4060 Ti has 4,352 CUDA cores on it. This Quadro here has got 4,608 CUDA cores on it. So it's the closest. The 4070 has got something like 5,000 odd CUDA cores. So the 4060 Ti die is the closest CUDA core count to this Quadro 6000, right? It's got the same memory capacity as a 4090. It's got a better power consumption, so 250 watts. And it's got the RT cores of a vanilla 4080, right? Do you want to know how much a Quadro 6000 costs? Right, this price here, I'm telling you, is an anomaly. I've had a look. We'll bring up a few. We've got 4.5 grand, 4.2, 4, 5.7, and this bad boy here down at U-Buy, 10 grand. So other than even this one here, the cheapest you could probably get your hands on, and a Quadro 6000 is for £2.1 thousand, £2,100. It's the cheapest you get your hands on is Quadro 6000. Look, the 48 gig version, which I would like to add, is exactly the same freaking card as the 24 gig. It just has 48 gigs. That is the difference. That is it. So this card has basically got the CUDA count of a 4060 Ti, the RT cores of a 4080 vanilla, and the tensor cores of a 4090, and it is more often than not about £4,000. So can you understand why Nvidia want this to be their cheapest option in the data center space? You see, if Nvidia were going to offer a cheaper alternative for those lower end, developers and publishers and stuff that the 90 class is designed for, they would have to offer a cheaper option in this space. So the thing is, anyone speccing a system from Nvidia, their cheapest option as a video is this, and it's a £4 card, and it's got the CUDA cores of a 4060 Ti and the RT cores of a freaking vanilla 4080. When as a small-time game developer, say you're a freelance, you're working on UE5 or something, your options are like basically a mix of a 4080, a vanilla 4080 on the RT cores, a 4060 Ti on the CUDA cores, with the tensor cores of a 4090 and the memory of a 4090, but it's a little bit slower. You could literally have this thing here for £4, or you can go into the gaming space, grab yourself a 90 class card, which is basically, as I said, for 1,600 quid. In comparison to this card, the 4090 is an absolute steal. An absolute freaking steal. So please, please, going into this 50 class, those 5090s are going to sell like hotcakes, because in comparison to this, they're an absolute frigging bargain. Like, even the 8000 is literally the exact same card with 48 gigs. That's the only difference. So this is the rival for the 5090. And do you know how much this card is? Let me just pull it up. This card is just shy of £7,000. Just shy of £7,000 brand new. 6,700. And it's got the CUDA core count of a 4060 Ti. That is why I don't personally think that the 90 class cards are really that highly priced. They are there so that the developers, the sport time developers, have a card to choose that they're going to buy, because there's no SLI anymore. It's not like they can stack a couple of 2080s or a couple of 5080s. Do you know what I mean? So their choice is a 5090 or these, and these are stupidly overpriced. So they're going to buy a 5090 for £2,000, because a 5090 is an absolute monster in comparison to this thing, and this thing's would cost them like basically 3 times the price of a 5090. That is why I don't think the 5090s are badly priced, but I think going into the sales of these cards, you guys need to start looking at things properly. And on the Nvidia side, 80 class and down, you know, basically where AMD comes in, 80 class and down offer gaming. 90 class is for developing the game on. That's the big difference. So you shouldn't, as a gamer, you shouldn't really be looking at a 90 class card, you know? If you feel like you need to be king dick enough, you need a big GPU to prove that you're the man, then go ahead, buy yourself a 5090 and stop fucking complaining about it. For the rest of us, you know, 80 class and down, they're all monsters, right? And I've said this before, like, the problem is everyone's going on about the fact that all 3 of the GPU companies are pushing frame gen and upscaling. There's a reason for it. We have already seen the mighty 7800X 3D start choking a 4090 at 4K. I have seen games where it is struggling, right? That means that the CPUs are starting to struggle to keep up with the GPUs, which means these GPU companies literally need to come up with a way to get that better visuals and better performance without stressing the CPU too much. Otherwise, every single person that's gaming is going to need to go out and spend 600-700 quid on a CPU just to be able to put a new GPU in. Like, basically, if every card this generation was more powerful than the 4090, everyone's CPU would be too slow to push it. They can't do that. It's not going to work. The whole gaming market would completely collapse. If it's more powerful than the 4090, every gamer would have to have a 9800X 3D at least. That's not viable. So they have to come up with different ways to push the narrative, push the graphics, push the feel of the game, push everything about the game without going massive on raster. Why do you think every card this generation is, other than the 5090, is lower than the 4090? Why do you think that is? In raster, I mean in raster performance. Why do you think that is? You all think that it's because these companies are trying to save money. It's got nothing to do with these companies trying to save money. They are literally just seeing that the CPUs cannot keep up. So they are going to have to find new fandangled ways to get this improvement in performance without pushing the CPUs too hard with raster. It's frustrating. It is. But hopefully I've cleared up a few things about the 90 class. None of you are going to listen, but Hey, what can we do, eh? This is the tech space. And everyone's got a King Dick whale it with a 4090 or a 5090, haven't they? Right, anyways, guys, I will see you in the next one. And please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts on the matter. But as I said, in my eyes, the 90 class GPUs have always been for semi-pro and for, you know, like developing the games on, basically. 80 class and down is for gaming. 90 class GPUs are for developing the game on. That's why they have ridiculous amounts of VRAM and they're ridiculously powerful. You know, 32 gigs on a GPU is ridiculous. It's like, again, data center level shit, you know? So, yeah, 90 class is for developing the game. 80 class and down is for gaming. Come on, guys. Pay attention and stop spending too much money on your gaming rig. Or do. You do you. You do you. Oh, you're looking beautiful today. Love you, bye.